How's it going, everybody? My name is Artorigold, and today I'd like to share with you how to carry any game in an overtime situation with this very simple trick. All it really comes down to is pick Bastion. What's that? Girls of TikTok are telling me?
nErF Bastion!
Well, whatever, memes aside, let's go over the details on how to properly use this strategy so your team can get the edge in an overtime situation, and also I want to go over just why this works so well. So picking Bastion is something that anybody can do, and what's Bastion really good at? Well, Bastion's really good at getting the enemy caught off guard, right? The surprise factor, because Bastion's really good against enemy teams that are not prepared for a Bastion. You need the right counter picks, you gotta be able to be at the right position in order to really take the Bastion down, and then you need things like teamwork and coordination. So the surprise factor, going in a Bastion situation where you're not expecting it, can make the enemy team panic, confused, and in general, it can catch them heavily off guard. All of these things create a crazy amount of pressure for the enemy team, and in an overtime situation, there's not a lot of time that they have to try and deal with this, right? Without any time on the clock, they can't afford to go back to spawn and switch characters in order to properly use counter picks. Another reason why this is so strong is because Bastion demands attention immediately. If you leave a Bastion alone and uncontested, he can easily shred right through the entire team. So what you want to do in order to make this strategy work is you need to make sure you get into a good position, typically not too close to the objective. Instead, move somewhere to the side, off with a little bit of distance, but still a good line of sight that you can hit everybody. This makes it so you can just shoot from a medium to long range, which can still provide a huge impact because your damage is insane. And on top of that, what do we see on the PTR right now? Bastion's getting buffed. We're gonna see 33% less spread on his turret form, which is gonna make it so you can be a lot more accurate in the long range. And that's just one buff. He's also getting 10 extra bullets in his recon mode as well, which can also be pretty huge. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to come with this video, because this strategy is really strong right now. Now imagine what it's gonna be like once these buffs hit too. It's gonna be even better. And then because of that accuracy, you'll be able to get even more damage on even though you're further away and safer away from any of the enemy heroes. And so one of the main reasons you want to be far away is because this is an overtime situation. And what do you need to do in an overtime situation? The enemy needs to stay on the point. They can't get off in overtime or else they will lose. But at the same time, they need to travel all that distance to deal with a Bastion sitting in the corner. All around, this makes it a very difficult situation. The enemy team needs to try to make the right call under that kind of pressure. And because the DPS output of Bastion is so high, any second of hesitation can mean an easy kill for the Bastion. Now, even if the enemy team can reach you, that's perfectly fine. Bastion works really well at taking a ton of damage and being a useful distraction. Instead of fighting through the damage in the 1v1 whoever tries to engage you, you can simply just use your tankiness and all that armor you have, and the fact that you can heal yourself to waste the enemy's time and stall. The enemy team is the one without time, and you need to make sure that you waste as much of it as possible, kill as many people as possible, and in this situation, try to take away anybody off the point if you can. If you get one person to come off the point and deal with you, you can either man up and try to 1v1 him if you're able to, depending on what the character is, or if not, go ahead and just heal yourself and then wait for the opportunity that he has to reload or his abilities are on cooldown or whatever, and then you can go back to turret mode and kill them. Or you can just probably even out DPS them with the recon. It all really just depends on what hero comes after you. But in general, Bastion has a lot of armor, and being able to heal himself while running around will buy time for your team to respawn as well. Seriously, this strategy works so well, I'm surprised you don't see people try it out more often. I feel like maybe they're afraid that people are going to flame you or yell at you because you're picking a Bastion character, and some people might not see that as a good strategy. Some people don't understand, but it really is so effective, you really need to take that risk and not be afraid of what people think or what people are going to say about you. In the end, you have to look at it with risk versus reward, and if it really looks helpless, and there's really nothing else that you can do in this situation, I mean, just go for it. You might lose, you might get yelled at, but don't be afraid to make this play. I've done it a lot, And I've also done it in scrims and top SR games as well, and it's a legit strategy. If our team is ever in a situation where we need to stall, we have each person designated to a certain hero that they switch to in order to get the most out of the clock. For example, we have a tank player assigned to Hammond, one person assigned to Lucio, a DPS player assigned to Mei, and then the other one will go Doomfist. We have everybody on stall characters with high mobility, good rollouts, and things that work really well in that situation. And Bastion is what I go. I'm the flex support, and the flex support's job is to flex to any kind of DPS role as well. So I'll be the one who goes in there and swaps to that Bastion pick. You really just can't be afraid of success. Sure, you might fail some of the time, but as long as you win and you are successful 51% of the time, then you're climbing. That's SR games, right? All you need to do then is just keep that consistency and add playtime on top of it, and you climb. That's exactly how any ranked game works, right? And in a situation where it just feels like you're losing, there's nothing you can do, and it's overtime or something like that, try picking Bastion just 1 out of 2 times, 50%, right? And you'll find yourself gaining SR slowly because this Bastion pick in overtime situations will get you that one win that you need, and that'll help you because that one win consistently in overtime situations, that'll add up. That's SR that you gain that you otherwise would have lost if you didn't make that swap. I'm really just trying to convince you to do this because I know it might seem scary because people might yell at you or something like that, but you can't be afraid of what other people think. You shouldn't care about what other people think. If you do that, you will get stuck. You have to make sure that you rise above whatever their opinions of you. You're not gonna see them in the next game, and plus there's avoid a player list, right? So what I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid if anybody's gonna yell at you. It happens. It's the internet. People are gonna say mean things to you all the time. You just can't let that stuff get to you. So don't be afraid of any conflict. If someone disagrees with that plan, tell them I told you to do it. It's fine. I'll take the blame for it, okay? Don't even worry about it. So back on track. They can't get off the point in overtime, or else they lose. But at the same time, they need to travel to you. All around, this makes a very difficult situation for the enemy team, and for the enemy team to try and make the right call under that kind of pressure, it's extremely difficult for them to make the right choice. And even if they do make the right choice, and because their execution is so poor, you can really take advantage of that and get the kills. Even if they try to dive you, you can still just run around, right? So anyways, this strategy works really well, and I'm just really surprised that more people aren't trying it out. I think people are just kind of afraid of having that kind of conflict or something. I'm not sure. It's a really cool strategy. I think it's a really great tip, and I really felt like I needed to share it with you guys, because by using this strategy, you can definitely win some games that normally would have just been losses. And those wins, they add up. That's SR, guys. I mean, in the end, why are we playing ranked? We're trying to get that SR, we're trying to get our rank up, we're trying to be on the leaderboards, right? That's what we're all trying to do. So why would we not do this strategy just because a couple of people might call us idiots over the internet? Who cares what they think? All this strategy takes is really good timing and good positioning. You don't even really need good mechanical skill as Bastion. It's really not necessary. You have 300 bullets in your clip, you do a ton of damage, and with the buffs coming out, it's going to be even higher. So all you need to do in order to really execute this strategy, you just need to be able to swap to Bastion at the right time. You don't want to give away the plan. You want to make sure that when you make that swap, if you die, you make that swap, don't reveal yourself too early. Wait for your team to go in, because the enemy team's going to be so distracted with everything else going on, they're probably not going to hit tab and see the Bastion. They're not going to see that. They're not going to notice it. Just make sure to hide, wait for your team to go in first, and then you go in turret mode, and that's when you start doing all of your damage, and it makes the enemy team just have a really tough time dealing with it. They'll have a million things going on in their mind in that situation. They will be distracted. They won't even notice, or they'll forget that you're there, and before you know it, they'll all be dead. They'll be shredded to pieces. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. I just really wanted to share this tip with you. Go out there and try it in any overtime situation. I guarantee it will help your team out a lot. Even if your team doesn't agree with that, trust me, it will. You will be getting kills in an overtime situation. You won't be stalling as long as maybe a Hammond will, or a Lucio or Mei will, but you will be getting the kills and you will be doing the damage, and that's the whole point of the strategy. It's basically all in. It's the all in strategy, right? You just go in there and you put all of your chips on the table and you say, I'm gonna kill everybody on the overtime situation. Nobody's being left alive. I'm gonna go in there and my damage output is gonna kill everything. And that's what this strategy is. It's the all in or nothing play. So take it for what it's worth. Don't be afraid to try it out. And trust me, it does work. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.